They had it all: fame, fortune, and fans around the world. Millions upon millions of dollars flowing in. Private jets, mansions, you name it. But behind the lights, the contracts, and the championship rings, some NBA stars faced a darker reality. A reality where financial ruin and despair awaited. Today, we're diving deep into 10 NBA players who earned millions, and somehow lost it all. Allen Iverson, AI the answer. One of the most electrifying, captivating players to ever step on an NBA court. This brother was box office. And you know what comes with box office? Big-time money. Over $200 million in career earnings. But let me tell you something, folks. AI's spending habits? Legendary. The man traveled with an entourage. 50 people deep. Jewelry? He was buying it like it was going out of style. And don't even get me started on the strip clubs. $40,000 in one night. By 2012, he was practically begging for a contract, battling legal issues and more debt than a small country. But there was a glimmer of hope. Reebok, they saw the writing on the wall, and they had set up a $32 million trust fund for him, available when he turns 55. Now, I'm not saying it's right, but that might be the only reason AI isn't out on the streets. Antoine Walker, $108 million earned during his NBA career. This man was a walking highlight reel. But guess what? By 2010, he was filing for bankruptcy. Bankruptcy. How does that even happen? Lavish lifestyle? Check. Poor real estate investments? Check. Excessive gambling? You better believe that's a check. And to top it all off, he was supporting over 70 friends and family members financially. 70! Listen, I love my family, but 70 people deep, that's a recipe for disaster. Walker even admitted, "I tried to take care of too many people." Now the good news is, he's turned his life around. He's a financial advisor, helping young athletes avoid the mistakes he made. Because let's be real, folks, nobody wants to end up like that. Latrell Sprewell. Now there's a name that brings back memories, one of the most explosive players in the league, but also one of the most infamous. Remember when he was offered a $21 million contract extension? $21 million. And he turned it down. He said, and I quote, "That's not enough to feed my family." Now I understand looking out for your loved ones, but come on, man. $21 million, what was he thinking? Well, his post-NBA life took a turn for the worse. His home foreclosed, his yacht repossessed, and the lawsuits, they were piling up faster than his career points. Sprewell vanished from the spotlight. A cautionary tale that pride without planning can cost you everything. Chapter 4. Dennis Rodman, the Worm's wild ride to ruin. Dennis Rodman, the Worm. A rebounding machine, a defensive stalwart, and let's be honest, a walking, talking circus act. He made $27 million in the NBA, which is a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but he lost far more in endorsements and appearances because of his antics. The man was a walking controversy, partying every night, legal issues galore, and enough marriages to make Elizabeth Taylor blush. It all adds up, folks. He once owed $800,000 in unpaid child support. Now Rodman is still a pop culture icon, but his finances? Let's just say they never quite recovered. Chapter 5. Vin Baker. From all-star to assistant. At Starbucks, Vin Baker, 4-time NBA All-Star. A dominant force in the paint. He earned over $100 million during his career. But alcoholism and mismanagement, they'll take you down faster than a crossover dribble. And that's exactly what happened to Vin Baker. At one point, he was training to be a Starbucks manager. Starbucks! Can you believe that? A 4-time NBA All-Star slinging lattes? It's a sad story, folks. But there's a silver lining. Baker turned his life around. He got the help he needed and became an assistant coach with the Milwaukee Bucks. An inspiring comeback from rock bottom. Chapter 6. Delonte West. A fall from grace. Delonte West. Now this one hurts, folks. This one really hurts. West made over $16 million in the NBA. But mental health struggles and substance abuse, they're a 1-2 punch that can knock you down for the count. And sadly, that's what happened to Delonte. He was seen panhandling on the streets. Panhandling. A former NBA player. It was heartbreaking. Fans were outraged. They were sad. They wanted to help. And you know who else wanted to help? Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks. He personally picked up Delonte and got him into rehab. Now West's story is still being written, but it's a tragic reminder that untreated illness doesn't care about fortune or fame. Chapter 7, Derek Coleman, Big Heart, Bigger Bankruptcy. Derek Coleman, $87 million. That's how much he made in the NBA. But multiple bad investments, especially in Detroit real estate, led to his financial downfall. Detroit real estate, what was he thinking? In 2010 he filed for bankruptcy. Bankruptcy. He listed $4.7 million in liabilities. Now I'll give Coleman credit, he had a heart for rebuilding communities. But good intentions don't pay the bills. You need a plan, you need to be smart. And unfortunately Coleman learned that the hard way. Chapter 8, Scottie Pippen. Even legends get scammed. Scottie Pippen, 6 NBA championships. One of the greatest to ever do it. But even legends can get scammed. Pippen was criminally underpaid during his time with the Chicago Bulls. Can you believe that? One of the best players in the league and he wasn't even getting paid what he was worth. He eventually signed a 7-year, $18 million contract. Now, that might sound like a lot of money, but in the NBA it's not. And to make matters worse, Pippen lost millions through a fraudulent financial advisor. A scam artist. He preyed on athletes, and Pippen was one of his victims. Now Pippen has managed to bounce back, but his story shows that even legends are vulnerable to financial ruin. Chapter 9. Christian Laettner, the Dream Team member's silent struggle. Christian Laettner, a member of the legendary 1992 Dream Team. He earned $61 million in his career. But poor business decisions, they'll catch up to you like a defender on a fast break. And they caught up to Laettner in a big way. He was sued multiple times for unpaid debts, totaling over $14 million. $14 million? That's a lot of money to owe, folks. Laettner's post-career struggles flew under the radar for a while, but they were very real. It just goes to show that even the most talented athletes can fall victim to financial mismanagement. Chapter 10, Joe Smith, from #1 pick to Joe Smith, the #1 overall pick in the 1995 NBA draft. He made over $61 million during his career. But bad spending habits, multiple divorces, and poor money management, they're a recipe for disaster. And that's exactly what happened to Joe Smith. He went from being a millionaire athlete to, well, let's just say he's not living the high life anymore. A viral video in 2023 showed him living in humble conditions, a far cry from his NBA lifestyle. It's a stark reminder that the money and the fame, they don't last forever. You have to be smart. You have to make good decisions. Otherwise it can all disappear in the blink of an eye. Outro, a cautionary tale. Money doesn't guarantee security. Fame doesn't guarantee wisdom. These athletes reached the peak of their profession, but fell just as fast. They had it all, and they let it slip through their fingers. Let their stories be a warning and a lesson. Be smart with your money. Surround yourself with good people. And never ever forget that it can all disappear in an instant.